Hello, hello. Welcome to our training channel. And today we're going to go over how to create a presentation or maybe even edit a presentation. So maybe you have downloaded a presentation from somebody and you want to just change some pictures in the presentation or some wording or add slides. Or maybe you're going to present somewhere and you need to create your own presentation. Well, today we're going to show you just how to do that. And just know that most of our presentations here at Partner Co, they are done on Keynote because we can share it through Apple devices very easily via AirDrop. And then when you're at a convention or at a meeting or whatever, it's very easy for another presenter, if they're plugged in or attached screen sharing to the device that everybody's viewing, then everything can be on one computer and one person can organize it and have a very good flow. So the first thing you'll notice, I am screen sharing, and in Keynote, I'm on my computer. When I go to my iCloud, because that's where you find Keynote on the computer, and you can do this on your phone. It's just a little bit different, but the principles are the same. But here under Keynote, you're just going to hit the plus button to create a new presentation. And then it pulls up, and you have all kind of options of what to do as far as what type of layout you want to choose. Okay. So, and I like all kinds of different presentations. I'm going to start with this one. It just looks kind of cool to me. So I'm going to double click that, and it pulls it up, and it should show the background of the template. Yep. Here we go. So here's my background. So the first thing I want to do is I'm just going to click on all of this and kind of move it out of my way. So I'm going to do this, just make that smaller, get it to the top. Same thing here. Make this smaller and move this up to the top. Okay. Now, let's say that with this presentation, I want to put something that's going to be on every slide, maybe a brand or something like that. So I've already downloaded some images that I'm going to be using just to save some time. You can create your images on Canva. You can find them on Google Images, whatever you want to do to locate your images. But all you need to do to get your images open in Keynote is come up here to the little photo icon. You click on that and you choose media. And then it pulls up all of these, all of your files, and all of mine are in download. So I'm going to do Partner Co logo, transparent files. I think it's the top one there. So it pulls in the Partner Co logo, and then you just fit it to your screen, whatever size you would like, and you can position it like when I drag this around, you notice as it gets centered on my screen, it pops up a yellow line to let you know that, hey, yep, this is centered. And I love to center things like that. There we go. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. I'll have to adjust it again. There we go. So that's centered. Okay. With this box selected, it gives you several options over here on the side. So with this, like, I want to decrease the opacity of that image. I don't want it to be quite so bold. So I'm going to drop that down just so it's a hint in the background of the Partner Co logo there. And then there's all kind of things you can do. You can add borders, shadows, reflections, anything you want to do there. You can replace the image here if you want to. And if you need to move it forward or backwards in the stack of images, you can do that as well. But I'm happy with it like it is. So the next thing I'm going to do, let me click on it one more time, is I want to see where I lock this image so it can't be moved by accident or anything done to it. So I'm going to click lock here. I went and clicked on arrange over here at the far right. And I'm going to click lock. So now that image can't be moved. It's there on the slide. Okay. So now, in order for this to be on the next slide, before I start working on this one, I'm going to go ahead and right click and just click duplicate. And it goes ahead and it creates the same slide under the previous. And I do that so that when I'm ready to go to the next slide, that this slide is ready with the logo in the background so I can go ahead and start working. So I'm going to go back to the first slide and I'm going to start creating my presentation. So let's say I'm creating just a product presentation, company presentation that a lot of us are doing. I go up to the photo icon, choose media. I'm going to go back to downloads, and then I want to click on, let's see, I'm going to do it should say partner code. Here we go, first slide. I named it partner code first slide. There we go. So I want this to be my first slide. So knowing this is going to be my first slide, I don't need any of this. So I'm going to right click and delete, right click and delete. All right, and then I'm going to position this within this box. Down just a little bit. I like to make it where the stitching is showing. I just think it looks nice. There we go. And then remember to center. Sorry, centered that way. Whoa. There we go. That's it. But see, to me now, I really don't like that, so I'm gonna move it back over because I like that stitch to be kind of centered. So I'll move it to a little bit more. Right in there. I'm gonna leave it right in there. I like that. Okay. So with that, I click off of it. It gets rid of the box where I can adjust it. I'm gonna click up one more time just to kind of show you something here. Now, if I want to, I can adjust this image a little bit over here on the right hand side. And I like to do this, and I'll show you why. I can put a border on the image if I would like. It's hard to see, but I like to add a shadow, because when I add a shadow, you can faintly see it pull up, and it just gives your image a little bit of 3D look. It just makes your presentation look more professional, to me anyway. Okay, so the first slide's done. I'm going to go to the second slide. Before I start working on this slide, I'm going to right click on the slide, and then I'm going to duplicate it as well, so my next one's already ready for me to work on. Okay, so now ready for my next slide. I'm going to click on my photo icon, choose media, and I have to remember what my next slide is. It's going to be, that was my first one. I think it may be this one. I really want it to be the one with the industry. I think it's that one. Yes, it is. Okay. So here is this slide. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller. See, I know this is actually a presentation that I have saved on my Keynotes, and here I'm just adjusting it to the proper size. And so this is you're kind of seeing what I actually use pretty much weekly, many times a week. I'm not going to need a right click and delete because I'm not going to need the text. Oh, I duplicated it. Delete, where's my delete? There we go. Just to have it duplicating. Delete again, and I'm going to delete that one. I don't need the text. Okay. So I have that one centered where I want it. This is my slide. I don't need to do anything else to it, but I am going to go ahead and do my border, and I'm going to do my shadow because I just like the way it looks. And I'm going to click off of it, and that slide's done. So my first two slides are already completed. I'm going to click on my next slide, and again, before I start working on that slide, I am going to duplicate it. Go back to here. Okay, so my next slide, since I just talked about the health and wellness industry, I'm going to go to my media gallery, and I know I want the next one to be the Doctors of Partner Co. Okay, so I double click that, it pulls them up. My first several slides here are pretty simple because it's just images that I want to use. All right, so here we go. I'm going to center that a little bit better. There we go, that's okay. Okay, and then I don't need the text again, so I'm going to delete, right click, delete. And again, I love my border and the shadow. There we go, just makes a little subtle difference. Okay, so that's all I need with that one. So my first three slides were very simple. So I'm going to click on the next slide I want to work on, and what's the first thing I'm going to do? As you guessed it, I am going to duplicate that slide. I'm going to come back to it, So the next one I just created was the Doctors of Partner Code. So on my slideshow, I typically move into the product certifications. So I know that's my next slide. So I click on that, same thing. I just kind of pull these borders in, make it fit. There we go. Don't need the wording yet. So I'm going to delete. I keep going to duplicate just out of habit. Delete. Select that. I'm gonna go over here and do border and shadow. There we go. All right, slide number 4 is done. So I click on the next slide. First thing I do is I duplicate that slide. I think this is where it's going to change. I go to choose media again. Okay, so I have done all of these. And so let's say I want to start getting into the transformations. I'm gonna pull up Amy's transformation. So here's her picture. And I'm gonna make this fit my presentation, fit within inside this stitching on this slide. Okay. And I'm gonna start moving this over. Let me move these because I want these. Where did it go? It didn't move. That one moved. I don't even think I need that one. All right, now come on. There we go. I want to move this over right in there. And I do like my border. I like my shadow. Okay. So now that one's done. Now I want to say something about this image. So I have all this space over here. You could add another image. You can do anything you want. But I'm going to double click there because I want to say something. I'm going to say Amy lost, I think it was 53 pounds in the slideshow. I'm not doing my math right this second. Using the quotations. Any. So that's all I wanted to say. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this one. I don't need that. Okay. Let's make this whatever size I want it to be. I'm going to pull this down so it'll help me center it correctly. Okay, now I'm going to center this. There's my line. And I don't worry about the right to left because I don't need to center it here. I'm just kind of eyeballing, center it within this space. So now that I have it selected here, I need to change the text. I don't want it, I don't like the font, and I don't like the color. So I go over here to text, and here's where you can choose your fonts. It has a drop-down box, and I like the very last one. It's just kind of a nice cursive font. It's called, I can't even read it, Zarfino or something. So anyway, so here's the text I'm going to use. I read lost. Here's the text I'm going to use. And then I want to change the color of the text. You can choose any of these colors in here, and that when it says theme, it gives you a dialog box of the colors that are kind of in here if you want to use these colors. And so I'm going to use this color because it kind of matches Amy's shirt. So there you go. It automatically changes the color. Now if you want to do something different, you can come over here and choose custom, or you can choose more, and it gives you all kinds of colors. But I like to color coordinate within my slideshow. Again, it makes it look really nice. And then I can make this bold if I want to. So it's bold. So I'll make that bold. Go back to my style. I love a border on this. A border helps your text pop. Oh, let's put a border around my, I don't want it there. I want it. All right, come on. Try it like this. See if it'll do it. Okay, it did not. Okay. Well, let me go back and look and see. Or shadow. Let me do a shadow. See what is a shadow. Yeah, it's a shadow I like to do because the border does the whole thing. Let me see what fill does. I put a shadow on it. No, I don't want to fill it. If you fill it, it does these up here. It gives you all of these options, but I don't like fill with that. But I do like the shadow. And border just borders the box, I guess. I don't like that. Okay. And you can change the shadow. You can blur it more, blur it less. You can offset it more so it looks like a shadow in the distance, or you can put it right next to the word so it gives a little bit more of a three-dimensional look, which I like. And then you can obviously change the opacity. But that's all I'm going to do with that one. It's just that simple. Amy lost 53 pounds using the skinny drops. And then I have a good slide. So that is my first 5 slides already done. And you know what I did? I made a mistake here. Okay, so this is a good thing to show. So this slide, I actually forgot to go back and click on slide number 5, which is where this slide should be. So all I need to do is just click it and drag it to where that blue line pops up above slide number 5, release, and it places it in the right position. Okay, so now my slides are back in order. And so my first 5 are completed. And so now I'm going to click on the 6th slide. And again, the first thing I'm going to do is duplicate this slide. Now I'm going to go back to this slide. I'm going to work on this one. So let's say this time I want to show somebody selling the drops. So I think I have a picture here. I'm going to go to my picture icon, media gallery, and then I'm going to go to me selling drops. So here I am. Obviously I want to fit that to my presentation. I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to move. I don't know why these things are being difficult to move this morning. Get that over there. Come on. So I don't need that box anyway, so since this is being difficult, I'm just going to delete it. There, took care of that problem. There's many ways to do the same thing. I needed it to move, I moved it. All right. So I have the picture where I want it. That's me selling a bunch of boxes. And I can put any other picture in here, but I kind of want to show y'all something different. So let's say I want to say, sell 10 boxes and make 550. No, let's do 700 because if you do retail profit and new volume bonus, this is $700 profit. $700 profit. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is make this. Why are they so difficult to move this morning? There we go. Maybe I'm just moving too fast with my mouse. I want to make this the size I want it. That should be good. And I centered it. Okay. I like to change the font. I don't care for that font. So I'm going to change it to match the font I had previously, which is the last one. Scroll down to the bottom and choose that one. All right. And then I can, if I want to change the size of the font, I do that right here. It's 80. I want to make it bold. Yes, I want to make it bold. I'm just doing it. Let me highlight. I may have to highlight all that to make it bold. Bold. Okay, it's bold. Okay. Click on that again. Now I want to change the color of my text. So I'm going to click on the box here. And again, it pulls up the colors that are in here. So let's just try this one, see what it looks like. Now that looks okay. Okay, sell 10 boxes and make. Now notice it doesn't show my $700, so I need to pull this box down because the box isn't big enough. There, it shows me $700 profit. There we go. Make sure this is still centered. There we go. All right. So now my whole text is showing of what I want this to say. I've clicked it. I want to go back to style because I want to add my shadow. There we go. That just makes it pop a little bit more. All right. Now let's say I want to do something kind of fun. Let's say when I pull up this slide, all I want people to see is this picture. And then I want, after I click on it again, I want this to kind of move into the slide. So I will do the these little squares right here. It says show or hide animation options. So I click on that, and then I want to build in an animation. There's no effect right now, so I'm gonna click the drop down arrow, and I can choose all of these animations. Okay, and let's say I want it to, let's just do drift and scale. And then I want to drift up. You can change the direction how I want it to drift. I'll have it drift up. That's fine. I don't really care. Duration, 3 seconds. I'm gonna move it to 5 seconds. You can do it by the whole object, or you can do it by word or by character. I'm gonna just change it to word, and I'm gonna leave it like that. So what that does, when I build in this animation, when the slide comes up, it'll just show you this picture, and then when I click on the slide again, instead of going to the next slide, it will pull this text in. It's just another way to add other elements to a slide, and it'll cue you like a flashcard to what you need to say or talk about during your presentation. Okay, so let's say I'm gonna click off of this because that is in here where I want it. And I want to just see what this looks like. So I want to play this slideshow. And so it's going to start my slideshow so I can see what this looks like, see if I like it. All right, so here it is. If I had clicked on this slide, this is what it would look like when people are looking at it. And I would say something about, okay, I'm selling skinny drops in bulk. Here's a bulk order that I moved, and just so you know, every time you move 10 boxes of drops, you make $700 cash profit. Okay, I didn't like the way that looked. I would want that to stay there. I don't want it to disappear. So I'm gonna hit the escape button. It takes me back to here. I'm back at my transitions, and I want to change it. So I'm gonna go, instead of drift and scale, I'll just make it appear. All right, appear by word, yeah, same thing. We'll play it again, see if we like that animation. See, because I want it to stay there. I don't want it to disappear. It just looks funny with that big blank space on my slide. So same thing. I'm selling skinny drops in bulk, and every time you sell 10 skinny drops, that is a $700 cash profit for you if you are ultimate in our company. Yeah, I like that better. And I can make this bigger if I want to. I can do all kinds of things to it. So that's how you do that. And now to go back, I'm just going to hit my escape button, and I am back on my editing. And then the next slide, if I want to add anything, there's some other buttons up here. If you want to add graphs, they have all kinds of graphs you can choose from to add. Same thing here. If you want to do a table layout, that's there. So you have to get in here and just play around. If you want to add a text, that button adds the text box where you can add whatever text you want to add. I'm going to delete it, but I don't want that. If you want to choose a shape to appear, this is where you would do that. You can just, like, if you want to do an arrow that points to something, the arrow pops up, but that one you can't see because of the color of it. You have to go in and change that color. So you go to here. Let's style. Let me see. I want to change this. See if that'll show it. There you go. So there's my arrow. I just put it white so you can see it. Okay. But if I don't want that, I don't want that. But that's how you do that. You add things into your presentation box. So y'all, I hope this helped. This is just a brief overview of how to create your presentation. You can go to Canva. I have a video on that, and you can create anything you want to create in Canva to add to your presentation, and you can do some really neat things to make a really nice presentation that does look professional. So I hope you enjoy this video. If you have any questions, reach out. I'll be happy to help you with this, and we will see you on the next video.